JT here from the Poko Moonshine family. Today I wanted to do a quick video on 7 things you should know before you start a carnivore diet. I've been on the carnivore diet for 195 days and I can wholeheartedly say with an unbiased review that this diet is incredible. It's not restrictive, it's liberating, it's healed my body and it's made me feel better than I've ever felt. And you're here because you're thinking about trying the diet or you've just starting it, and I congratulate you on making that good decision that's gonna just change your life. So let's get going. Now, these 7 things aren't to scare you or to get you to not try the carnivore diet. They're just things to be aware of, and you might not know when you jump right into the carnivore diet, kind of like I did. I didn't do much research. I just kind of cannonballed into it, and I had certain things that would happen and I didn't kind of know what was going on. So that's why I wanted to put this together for you and hopefully help you out since you're a beginner. The first thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is, number 1, you might get the keto flu. It's something that could happen. Some people get it, some people don't. Now, I personally didn't get the keto flu. I was already eating a lot of bacon, a lot of hamburger meat, a lot of eggs, a lot of the things on the carnivore diet that I eat now, I was eating before my old diet, except I had all the other junk, the candy and the beer and all that stuff going, so I didn't feel good. But since I was already eating that stuff, transitioning to the carnivore diet was actually pretty easy on my stomach and my body, and I did not get the keto flu. But if you are coming from vegetarian or vegan, you could possibly get the keto flu. Even if you're not transferring from vegetarian or vegan, you still could get the keto flu, so just keep that in mind. The second thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is your taste buds might change. And what I mean by that is, if you really had a love for sweets, you'll start to lose that love for sweets and get more of a love for meat. And I think even if you went back and tried some sweets, it just wouldn't taste the same. Since I've been on the carnivore diet, I have only had 1 soda in that whole meantime, and it was funny. I tried it like a month or two. I tried a Pepsi just to see how it would taste. Oh my goodness, it's beyond sweet now. It is just beyond sweet. It's insane. And for Thanksgiving, we had a ham that somebody in the family had put brown sugar on. And my mother had asked, everybody, like, how's the sugar? Is it too much sugar? And everybody who's not on the carnivore diet shook their head and they're like, no, there's not enough, not too much sugar. Me and my wife, who are on the carnivore diet, it was way too much sugar. My taste buds were so sensitive to any sugar, so that could possibly change. Not that you would want to go back to sugar, but if you ever did try to go back to some of these foods that you currently are on now after carnivore, they might not taste the same, so keep that in mind. The third thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is that you might throw out most of the things in your food pantries, your cupboards, and in your fridge. And what I mean by that is there's going to be a lot of food that doesn't fit in the diet, and eventually when you feel good after starting the carnivore diet, I started for 30 days and I felt so amazing. I just didn't want to go back to any of that stuff. But kept plugging through month after month on the carnivore diet, and we never really cleaned out our cabinets and cupboards of the stuff that we don't eat anymore, and that stuff didn't really make a temptation for me. And for some people, I say get rid of it. If it's going to be a temptation, get it outside the house. Now, eventually we did get rid of ours. We cleaned everything out one day, put it all in boxes, and we gave it to friends and family who aren't on the diet and were still interested in that stuff, so it wasn't wasted. You probably would benefit to get rid of all that stuff, but just be aware that you're probably, when you try this diet, you're gonna feel so good like most of us do starting this diet. You're gonna say, wow, I'm gonna take all this junk and just clear it out. So be prepared to get rid of a lot of stuff that you currently might have. The fourth thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is that you might lose so much weight, you need some sort of skin surgery. A lot of carnivores I've interviewed, they've had so much wonderful weight loss, which is amazing, but then they have excess skin. So it's some people are just going to deal with it. They don't want the surgery. Some people want the surgery. And some people on the carnivore diet actually end up losing it at a nice pace where the skin just shrinks up and doesn't cause a problem where it's excess and built up and you need to have a surgery. Dr. Berry does say that if you put in fasting, add in some fasting to your carnivore diet once in a while, that will help eat up and soak up some of that extra skin. So just be prepared that this diet does work. It works extremely well, and you're gonna get results, and you might have a problem of excess skin. The fifth thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is that you might end up having stomach pains and diarrhea if you come from a vegan or vegetarian background and switch to the diet. Now, it could happen to some people even if they don't come from one of those diets, just a standard American diet to carnivore diet. You could still end up with diarrhea. You still could end up with stomach pains. It all depends on how much meat and fat you've eaten prior to the diet. So just keep that in mind, that transitioning phase from going from your body burning sugar to burning fat and being in ketosis, there might be some growing pains there. The sixth thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is you need fat in your diet to be successful. You cannot just eat a bunch of lean meat. That's not going to be good for your body. You're going to be low energy. You're not going to feel well. You're not going to do well. Now, you don't want too much fat because then you'll be in the bathroom all the time. And you don't want too little fat where your bowels are starting to get hard and they don't feel well when you're going through them. So you're going to need fat for how you feel and how you use the bathroom. And using the bathroom is a great way to judge how much fat you are or aren't getting. So keep that in mind about your fat to protein ratio. The seventh thing you should know before you start a carnivore diet is you may experience oxalate dumping. It's also quite common for people who switch to the carnivore diet. Now, we mentioned the keto flu earlier in this video. Now, oxalate dumping is a little bit different. It's a little bit more painful, not as fun, okay? It's like little crystals in your blood, and when your body goes through dumping them, you don't feel well at all. Fatigue, brain fog, aches and pains. It comes with all sorts of junk. It's nothing to turn you away from the diet. It's just something to be aware of. If you ate a lot of plants too from being vegan or vegetarian, you might experience more oxalate dumping than the average person. Let's call this a bonus eighth tip here. An eighth thing that you should know before you start the carnivore diet. Know that you can win. You can get your results. Whatever you have going on, you can get your own results like everybody else is getting their results. You can win. Just make one good decision every time, and that's it. Choose the water instead of the soda. Choose the steak instead of the Doritos. Just make a good decision, one decision at a time, and you're just going to end up winning and winning. And this cycle, you're going to get in this flow of winning, and you're going to have your results before you know it. So know you can win, know you can do this, and if you need support from me or somebody, put it in the comments. I'd love to help you out.